Once were contenders, now are befrienders. Let's celebrate lasses and lads. Let's celebrate lasses.
Let's celebrate lasses,
All right. Well, welcome back to the pod. My name is Brooke Rees.
Whoa, what are you doing?
I thought I would take over. I'm the one that's recording.
You didn't even say the title of the podcast. Just jumped right in with your name.
They know who we are. We're iconic at this point, Marriya. We don't even have to say the name. They know it.
Hello. You always say hello.
Oh, okay.
Hello and welcome back to Remake Hot Take, the podcast where we play studio executives pitching remake ideas of our favorite and new media. I'm marriyaschwarz.
And I'm Brooke Rees. Marriya doesn't like change.
You didn't say what the podcast was. You didn't say hello. You didn't say what the podcast is for new listeners. It was just, you just like improv'd that.
I did. I was gonna do it on the fly, but clearly that's not how it works. This week we are doing the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. But we're doing a little bit of a different thing this episode. We're going to talk about the movie for a little bit, and then we're going to kind of sort of play like a mini D&D role play, but in the context of how we would remake it. And we're also going to like have our character moment for ourselves. Maybe do the character moment first and then jump into our role for remakes, because Marriya just got a hold of some Dungeons and Dragons days.
It sounds like I just came across them or I stole them.
In a wooded forest. She came across them, just laid out for her.
So, Brooke, what is your history with Dungeons and Dragons? Are you a player?
No, I wish I could be. I wish there was like a group nearby. There probably is. Literally my only experience with it is through Stranger Things. And then there's like a YouTube show, Good Mythical Morning. They did like a Dungeons and Dragons episode a couple months ago with someone that like believes that they can see demons and can determine if like someone is a demon or if an action is a demon or anything. So those are like my
Are you a demon?
Maybe.
Would you tell me if you were a demon?
Yeah. I'd like slip
Thanks.
a little note to you. Like
Thank
I'd
you.
pass it in class. And it'd be like,
that's nice.
you think Brooke is a demon? Check yes. Check maybe. Check no. So I'd let you actually determine that, but I would be feeding you those hints. Those are my two singular experiences with Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, after Stranger Things, like especially this last season of Stranger Things where they have the Hellfire Club that all plays D&D together, I was like, oh, I think we talked about this too, like in the Stranger Things episode that we did. We were like, let's start it, like let's start playing Dungeons and Dragons. But
we put out a call. We said someone should teach us, and then no one responded.
No one did. Yeah, they were like, they're they're too far gone. They cannot learn at this point. But yeah, so what's your experience with D&D? Are you an avid player?
Yes.
Okay.
I've
been hiding that.
I've been playing every day since I've been born. I actually came out with a D20 shoved at me. You can pick the orifice. And no, I think like Stranger Things is the only real like experience I had. I mean, like I saw like commercials because I feel like D&D went online after a while or something, and yeah, so I feel like there were like ads or commercials on TV, and then a few people like from my MFA program, they had like a D&D league, but they all seemed very professional, so I didn't get involved.
Yeah.
But the whole time I was watching this, I was like, this makes Eddie Munson's death even more tragic. R.I.P. You would have loved this.
Oh, he would have loved specifically the movie.
The movie. I don't know. I was reading reviews and people were like, this is actually pretty realistic for like an actual D&D player.
Okay.
Like they covered like the actual classes, and all of the spells from the movie are spells that are actually like in the game. And I think the like red witch whatever lady, that's like a key. Yeah. So I think it's pretty realistic to people who actually play the game. So I feel like I can't really pass judgment, because I feel like it would be more interesting if I actually knew what it was about, but I don't, because I feel like there's probably a bunch of things I probably missed, like in the class and the species and all of the little fun fact things. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we can jump in then to like our overall impressions of this film. I think it's basically jumping off of what you said. I will say I gave it 3.5 stars. So I feel like
That's what I gave too.
Yeah, I feel like it was a good movie. That's kind of like my base rating, I would say, is like a 3 for movies that I enjoyed and like would watch again. And then I gave it an extra half point because I actually did really like the ending, because I had to watch this. I went to a Renaissance festival dressed very similarly yesterday, and I had to cut off the movie at the last 30 minutes so that I would have time to get up the next morning and get my costume on and everything. So the movie's continuity was sacrificed in the name of enough sleep before driving 2.5 hours to a Renaissance festival. But it feels very on theme for the weekend anyways, because I feel like, you know, if we were to take a poll of who plays D&D and we did it at the Renaissance Festival, that would be like an extremely skewed sample size. I think like 1 in 3 people play D&D there.
So did you take the opportunity to advertise the podcast, or?
I did. I held up a big sign as I was walking through, and it just said, "Be on the lookout. Next Wednesday, release of D&D Remake Hot Take," and then all of our socials, of course. No, I was mostly sweating to death. It was like 83 degrees. I had this wig on, which this is a wig. I did not grow this in the last week. I didn't grow 10 inches of hair. But I was mostly like just battling heat stroke, like putting up a really good fight to not get heat stroke.
And so you didn't advertise?
I didn't. What I told you a few minutes ago was a lie. I'm sorry. But if I'm going to actually another Renaissance festival in 3 weeks, should I bring the sign? Should I have a professional banner made and just like,
there is no pleasure, there is just business.
I'm sorry. I should have known better than to attend a function without doing free promo. But anyways, so I had to split up my time watching this. And then I actually really like how they wrapped it up. The movie was kind of just like so for me. And then I actually really liked how the last 30 minutes brought it together. And I will say, like we had texted about, and like you had mentioned like a second ago, this movie, even though I know nothing about D&D, I still enjoyed it, which I think is a testament to, you know, the writers and to the well, also the director and writer, along with his partner, is John Francis Daley, who I have loved and watched his career from Bones. He was Sweets in Bones. He played like a psychologist that's like this young kid, and he is killed tragically because he went off to direct the movie, the Vacation movie remake.
Wait, that's part of his character arc?
No, he's killed. They kill him off of Bones, which is one of my favorite TV series, and he was like my favorite character in that series. So I've followed him since then. A lot of people know him from when he was a kid and did Freaks and Geeks. But yeah, no, they did not kill him and then have his character also go off to film.
I thought it was like, they were like, hey, whatever your character's name is, you're going to be directing this new thing, and then he gets hit by a car the next day.
Yeah, he's on the lot for the remake of Vacation. No, but that was his first, at least to my knowledge, since I was following him and was so pissed off about his character in Bones. His name was Sweets being killed off tragically. So I had followed him, and I knew that he kind of got off of Bones so that he could pursue his own writing and directing career. And I believe that the Vacation remake was his first like delving into director, like it was his directorial debut. And I really liked the Vacation remake. That like gave me a lot of laughs. So I would rate that one at like a 4. And then I would say that it's actually like a testament to the writing and the directing of this movie, that to like two people who have literally no idea what the like inside jokes about D&D are, like I enjoyed it as much as I did. I think that's like a point in his direction. Um so yeah, overall my feelings were I liked it. I would watch it again, and that I loved there were a lot of like funny moments for the general audience, and I'm sure that people that watch D&D like got a lot more out of it in the references. So when you looked at reviews online, was there anyone, because this happens with any sort of thing that you're adapting to film, whether it be like board games or, you know, like board games or books or anything, I feel like there's a subsect of diehard fans who are going to be like pissed off no matter what the film adaptation is. Did you see any reviews when you were just like scrolling through of people that absolutely like hated this interpretation?
Not really. I thought that people really liked it, especially because it's like a reboot of another series that was like a Dungeons and Dragons movie. So I think it was like pretty well regarded. What is 2023 and why are we only making movies about toys and board games?
I know.
Like we have Barbie, Dungeons and Dragons, pinball, there's Tetris. There's definitely more.
See, the Tetris one is what gets me. Like, is it going to be like from the perspective of a Tetris block?
No,
Or
it was about the making of Tetris. Oh, there was also Beanie Bubble, which is about Beanie Babies. But yeah, because Tetris had its start in the Soviet Union, and so they had to like smuggle it out of the Soviet Union to get like it popular worldwide. And because like when you make something within the Soviet Union, you're not allowed to be paid for it. So it was also like they had to smuggle out the person who made it so that he could get royalties and stuff, because otherwise it just like belongs to the Soviet Union. So yeah.
Okay, maybe I would watch the Tetris movie. I didn't like you had
It
mentioned.
wasn't great.
Oh. So should it have been, would a remake for the Tetris movie be that it's just like the perspective of some animated blocks as they're
Yeah.
falling into place, and
It's
like
actually a love story and they're trying to find their perfect
the
little
perfect
tile
match?
match. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think that's an excellent, excellent idea. We need to actually pitch that to the makers.
But this movie, I did feel like, you know, there was some parts that I maybe missed, or like it was a little bit alienating in the way that like extreme fantasy can be. Like I like when fantasy, like if you're looking at like Harry Potter or something, like it's fantasy, but like we've all been to school. So like there's some kind of like element of realism that I can understand and fathom. While when you're thrown straight into like this extreme fantasy world, it kind of feels a little bit jarring. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like not every little detail has to have like a special name or something, or I don't know, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I did feel like a little bit like the world building was a tiny bit fast, but I think Chris Pine really helped with the humor. So I mean I liked it. I think maybe I would have gotten more out of it again if I like knew what was going on. I was like, it's fun, but I don't really totally understand what's happening. But yeah, and I think it's interesting that kind of on every movie or TV show that we've explored here, there's always kind of been a through line through like a celebrity. So in Asteroid City, we had Sophia Lillis, who played the cookie trooper or whatever. And then in here she is Doric. I do think it's a little weird that like, and maybe this is just my history with Sophia Lillis, because I've seen her in Asteroid City as a child and Nancy Drew as Nancy Drew, a child. And so it's a little bit jarring to see her in this movie where she's like suddenly like a courtable adult. I don't know. That made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think I've had the most like interaction with her from the
Mm.
It movies. And she
Is she a
also
quotable adult?
not in the It movies, no. And I think she also I don't know how old is she? She can't be that old, but
She's like 21.
yeah, so she's young already, but she also has a face where like Hollywood's gonna have her playing in teen movies for the next like 15 years minimum. Like she very
Right?
much has like kind of a round baby face, and then with her like little freckles and everything, she comes off very young. But yeah, I didn't find it too weird since the sorcerer also seemed pretty young.
She
As a
seemed like she was going through, oh, the sorcerer male, the Simon, or the sorcerer female?
no, Simon
Simon, okay.
also seemed pretty young, and those were the ones that were courting, but
Because I felt like Safina, she was going through a phase. Like she shops at Hot Topic.
yeah.
Like she's like, it's like that sound in TikTok where it's like, don't you think that's a little bit too much smoky eye? And it's like, I'm going through something.
Blending. She just keeps at it. Yeah. Do you think she was like, Mom, Dad, like it's not a phase. I am dead inside. And then they were like, that is accurate. You are a corpse.
Yeah. It's good to be accepted. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I think Chris Pine is like such a charismatic guy. And I actually really like the pairing between him and Michelle Rodriguez. I feel like Michelle Rodriguez is always playing like I haven't seen a movie or a TV show or anything where she plays like a nice innocent like character that needs to be taken care of. I feel like she's always in these like very like masculine and like she is a boss bitch basically roles.
Mhm.
And I thought they like paired together really well because I feel like Chris Pine was like not hyper masculine. His
Mhm.
vibes very much give off, and then also with like his personality that Twitter has with him with like the long hair and like flowy like shirts. I just feel like he gives off more like fun uncle vibes or like
That's true.
he's just like on the coast somewhere and he'll like give you a candy out of his pocket and then tell you a joke, but he gives very much not hyper masculinity. So I liked their pairing in this movie. The one
He has a lovely voice.
he does. He's has a beautiful voice. The one I don't know if this is a miss for me in terms of casting, but I didn't quite like Hugh Grant in this role.
Mm.
I don't know if it was I don't know. I'm just like not used to him being like this older evil man. I mean, has played in like Bridget Jones, he was a hot young evil man. But his character, maybe just his character in general, did not make too much sense to me, the Forge character. And and then that relationship with Kira, the daughter, was my one like miss out of this whole movie.
Mm.
I was like, this is strange. And I think I was like, maybe this is something that there is more background on for D&D players, but I was just very confused why like your dad would be away for 2 years and that's like enough time for you to completely like change the way that you view him and then also like your
Oh, because Kira's a bitch.
okay. And then also you're like
That is not on Hugh Grant.
okay.
You can't convince someone of something if that like idea isn't already in their mind.
Yeah. Which like, it kind of leads into that a little bit and it says that when he first is retelling his life story to like the council that has to decide whether or not the crimes are pardoned or if he needs to serve another year of his sentence, he goes into that backstory and it's like, well, we didn't leave Kira at home. We just took her with us on the road for our for our thieving and our pillaging.
Well, what were they supposed to do? Get a nanny?
Yeah, childcare is hard in the D&D world.
They
It's
also, can you believe in a fantasy game where you get to make up your own thing? They don't even have universal healthcare probably or child support.
no, it's probably like you go to I don't know how it is in the D&D world, but from this movie, I'm assuming that you're like a peasant and you
Mm.
walk into like a sorcerer's shop and then he just kind of like does his thing, but you have to pay high price for him to actually fix your ailment. Otherwise, you're just gonna get like a Professor Lockhart kind of situation, talking about other fantasy worlds. You go in for a broken arm and he technically fixes it by removing your bones, but then you just have like a hanging meat sack that you have to deal with. That's my vision for healthcare.
My character is actually Bernie Sanders, and he's going to promote loan forgiveness.
Yeah, you're like, my character is a mystical old wise man.
He has mittens.
With mittens, and he likes to sit cross-legged with winter jackets on, and he has a plan to save the D&D world. But he does meet many villains along the way. That actually would be a great story. But yeah, so maybe it's not Hugh Grant. Maybe he was trying his hardest. I just felt like something was off with that whole character. And then especially like we were talking about with Kira, when he's giving that, you know, spiel to the council, he makes it seem like Kira's, you know, a part of the team, and she likes doing all these things, and she loves her dad, and she loves her basically stepmom. And she's okay with the thieving life. And then we like cut to him like getting out of prison thanks to Jarnathan. And we go and we see Kira, and she's like, actually, dad, like, fuck you. And I hate being a thief. And like, now I'm living a life of luxury. And like, not only do I not trust you, like, I also don't trust Holga, who I've always trusted more than you. And like, it just didn't make any sense. So I was like, that's a little off for me in terms of things that I didn't quite vibe with. But yeah, what about you? Was there anything else?
Yes. I wanted to be a street magician when I was a kid, so I totally support Simon's goals and his dreams and his fresh cut grass. I do think I'm Simon in this whole thing, because I also have very low self-esteem. But we would not get in with the helmet. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. And then I felt bad because he figured out the helmet, and then like we didn't even really need it. So that's the story of my life. the second I get like a little bit of self-confidence, the world knocks me back down. I hope he's well.
Yes, I think he gets the girl.
I really liked the question scene with the corpses that they bring back to life, and they're like, what's 2 + 2? And they're like, I'm bad at math. Especially that I feel like that's funny because Dungeons and Dragons is so math based. So I got that one. I saw what you did there. I got it. So I liked that element. Let me see what else. I don't know. I think I agree with what you said about like the last scene or whatever, about it like kind of being wrapped up nice. I think the whole thing with like Holga and Kira and all these random kind of flashbacks as she's dying, I didn't feel like I super had a lot of stakes in, because I didn't really see their relationship throughout the time. I think I saw Holga more like with potatoes than I saw with her like stepdaughter, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it worked, and I don't know if it even matters so much like Holga and Kira's relationship. I saw it more as the main character Edgin, who played by Chris Pine. I saw it more of him realizing that he needs to let his wife go. So I saw the importance more in that sort of theme coming full circle. And I like teared up for 1 second when it showed the dragonfly, because he had that as kind of like a symbol to him of his wife. And you know, it was a memory of her, but it was specifically a memory of her saying like, you have to let it go. So I think it was more just he came to realize in that moment that everything that he's kind of done for the past, like, I don't know, 14 years, I think that's what we estimated how old Kira is. So everything that he's done in the past 14 years has been like this kind of reaction to his wife's untimely murder. And that not only does he need to like let go of that vision of somehow getting her back, but he needs to like let go of all of that anger too. And then he like realizes in that moment that, you know, Holga has become this like mother figure for Kira, and that their relationship is something that he needs to foster and he needs to like become a better man, which the whole journey was already, you know, like a moment for him to show that he has become a better man and he's giving back the money to the people like he said he would, and he's making good on his promises by like turning the ship around. This is his big moment to show that change. But I liked that as a kind of like final conclusion to his and Holgo's relationship, and like settling the one that he had of like this longing that he had for his wife. So I liked that ending.
And unfortunately, Holga does have like very much a type, so Chris Pine doesn't fit that.
I was like, what kind of like creature are?
It's like a halfling,
like a hobbit kind of situation.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was in D&D, but she likes her little hobbits.
I was trying to figure out the mechanics.
I was too. But you know, love is more than I was trying to figure out the insertion mechanics.
Yeah.
But love is more than insertion. Put that on a bumper sticker. But yeah, I don't know. But she likes her small men, and she found one at the end there. Which kind of leaves Edgin. I don't know if they're planning on doing sequels, but Edgin's got to get a girl now. Kind of leaves
That's the next quest.
That's the next quest, actually.
There's a tablet for that, don't worry.
Dungeons and Dragons honor among Tinder users.
I also did appreciate that there were multiple dungeons and multiple dragons, so it lived up to its name on that. Yeah. But I think like all the details in this were nice. Like I liked the way that we started out with this kind of like story, and then it like kind of evolved into a map that looked like a tabletop map that you would kind of play D&D with. I also liked like people were pointing out like there are occasional times when like a spell doesn't work or like a hit doesn't work, and they're like, oh, those would be times when like someone didn't roll well. And they're like, this is very accurate to a D&D campaign where like everyone just has super high charisma and no other useful skills. I think what really would have sold it for me is like if it was fully in like the D&D world and like specifically kind of talking about the game and the tabletop, because I think it would have been really nice if like we had an end credit scene where it's just like a bunch of kids and you see like a crude drawing of like all these people or like little figurines or something. I think that would have been nice and like kind of a comparison to some of the other toy-based films that we've seen, like the Lego Movie and Barbie and stuff like that, and kind of like gave in fully into the toy-based kind of metaverse that we've lived in now in 2023.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think that would have been fun to have a little cutscene, but I don't know if they're planning on doing sequels. Maybe they'll have that in there. Oh, how do you pronounce his name? The man from Bridgerton that plays Zank in this one. Is he French? Is it Regé Jean?
Sure.
Oh gosh. Oh no, he's English. Regé Jean Page. Anyways.
Even though he changed nationalities, he's stuck with the pronunciation.
Oh, it has like the thing over the E. Jean? I don't know. Reggie. If it's not French, then it's like Reggie Jean. So,
that's his American name.
So it's either
Reggie
or Reggie Jean. Paige, I'm gonna call him by his last name. Paige is in Bridgerton. He plays the hot Duke in season 1. Much love to him. I love his face. I don't think that he is a great actor yet. What do you think? Do you think he was giving a good performance as Zank? Because I felt that was a little lackluster as well.
I mean, he was awkward, but I think that was the point. So I don't know. I haven't seen any of his other work really. So
okay, I
liked that he gave to the homeless.
He did. He was a good guy. He was a good character, but I don't know if the performance was that good. And I don't know, because noticed like similar things in Bridgerton in the first season that he's in. So I don't know. I could be a little too critical, but I think he needs to, at least what I have seen from him, he was giving a sort of awkwardness in Bridgerton that carried over into this film too, that I don't think is intentional. I don't think he's going for that. It may just be something that happens. But yeah, I did love that we had no beast dragon. That was really nice. You know, we have a long way to come for body positivity of dragons, but at least we got representation in this film. You know,
it's a start, you know,
yeah,
it's not.
It's like sort of like in my mind, like a Fat Amy kind of situation. Like at least she's there. Like it is part of the joke that the dragon is obese. There she is in all her glory. It may be a man, but I'm gonna refer to her as a she because I think that all female dragons are, or I think that all dragons are female.
Because of Shrek?
Because of Shrek. And I think they were actually referencing some Shrek moments in this because there was like, I think if you put like side by side the Shrek scenes when he's trying to save Fiona, and there was like one where he's like running towards the camera. I was like, that is the exact same thing as Shrek. I was like, you took some liberties there. Or it was an homage, but yeah, so it's like body representation for our obese dragon friends, but we need to come a little bit further and it shouldn't be the butt of the joke. But I did love her. And let's see some other moments. There were some really good like one-liners in here. But I think like it started off really strong and I laughed probably a little harder than I should have when they captured Jonathan to fly out the window and the one councilman's like, but we like approved your pardon. And then they still jump out. I thought that was so funny and is something that could happen to me. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that situation.
How often do you come across giant birds as you're pleading for parole?
No, I think it would be like, I've thought a lot about the fact that if I were to be imprisoned, it would be like a wrongful conviction, like a making a murderer kind of a situation where they got some stuff wrong. Somehow my DNA is there. I like, cause I'm someone that also like, I'm standing in line at TSA and they're like, do you have any weapons? And I'm like, I start to think about it. I'm like, I don't know. Like, is it possible?
My body's a weapon.
No, I'm thinking more like, do I somehow have a gun on me? Like, I just started to get very paranoid and very anxious that somehow I'm breaking the law. So I know that if I were to get arrested, it would be like wrongfully convicted. And then I feel like I have the kind of luck where less of a Jonathan, you know, use a bird to fly out the window situation, more of like a Shawshank Redemption. I have a spoon and I have a lot of time on my hands and I'm like digging through the wall. And it's like I do all of that. And then it's like they come to collect me from my cell to be like, Brooke, like you're, you know, we know that you're no longer convicted and you're pardoned and we apologize. And I'm already like in the sewers, like fighting my way out. And then I get like an additional charge for escaping prison, even though I wasn't in the wrong in the first place. It just feels like something that could happen to me. So I had a lot of sympathy for them in that moment. But that was one of my
both saw ourselves in this film.
We did. I didn't see myself in a character. I just saw myself
in a situation, a vague situation.
In a prison break scenario. I was like, that's me. That's gonna be me one day. But yeah, so I liked that. And then I liked when they had like the weird creatures, which I'm sure is a D&D thing, the like little walking brain things that will like attack you, and they're parasites that'll suck out your brains and control your body. And they're like, they go after people with high intelligence. And he was like, keep quiet, like this is a very dangerous situation. And then the brains, they like are up against the wall and the brains are like like paying no mind. And they were like, I think Chris Pine said, well, that's a little hurtful. So I thought that was another good bit that they did. And then when Hugh Grant's character Forge says, I think a lot of it goes back to my mom. He's now telling his like sad tale to the committee for a second time in prison. And I like that I feel like we often talk about how characters need a little therapy. He was in prison and he had time to do the thinking. And I was like, pardon this man. I was like, that's right. I was like,
I don't trust him.
I trust him now. He's had some time for introspection. He's had some time to meditate, come up with some coping mechanisms. I was like, that's right. It does go back to your mother. I was like, and how do you feel about that, sir? So I thought that was a funny bit at the end too. But yeah, any other favorite moments or anything else that you wanted to touch on before we get into the gameplay?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did we want to use the website that you said for creating our characters? And then we can go ahead and once we have our characters created, then we can do our little remakes here.
Okay, so we're using D&D Beyond to make we're not sponsored, but we're always open to it. Brooke, do you know what you would like to name your character yet? The suggestions are Git, Felsen, Beth, Idome, or Sastrug, but you can come up with your own.
Wow. Can you hit suggest more?
Yeah.
I'm not liking any of those ones.
Horathon, Ilawaris, Brienoa, Halvius, or Zephina?
I like Brienoa.
Okay.
But can we do it like brie cheese?
Okay.
I'm a big cheese fan. Yeah, there we go.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so first it's choose your race.
Oh.
I don't know what all of these are.
I'm an elf. I have on my little elf.
Okay, we'll do elf. Do you want to be a high elf, a wood elf, or an Eladrin elf?
Is a high elf like I'm smoking weed a lot, or
yeah, I think so.
I'm just really chill. Eat quite frequently when I get the munchies. I feel like I'm dressed more like a woodland elf today, so we'll do wood elf.
So you are a magical people of otherworldly grace living in the world, but not entirely part of it. You have keen senses and intuition, and your fleet feet carry you quickly and stealthily through your native forests.
Okay, I feel like that's not accurate to my personal character. I feel like I'm quite clumsy and lead-footed, but that's okay. I can be a different person in this.
Your eyes are green, brown, or hazel.
My eyes are green. There we go.
At least one thing fits. Okay. So you have superior vision in the dark.
Okay.
You have proficiency in perception and keen senses. You had advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. That's good. I don't know if is melatonin magic?
That actually fits because I cannot take like any sort of Benadryl or any sort of like medicine that makes you drowsy. It actually has the opposite effect on me.
There we go. Green eyes, immune to sleep.
Green eyes can't sleep for shit.
Oh, look, elves don't need to sleep. Instead, they meditate deeply, remaining semi-conscious for 4 hours a day. Your wisdom score is increased by 1. You have proficiency with the long sword, the short bow, and the long bow. Is that true?
Yeah, I do own a crossbow.
Oh my god.
And I did do archery in high school.
You can walk 35 feet. I don't know what that means.
Only 35 feet?
I don't know.
At a time, like I like count them out on my watch, and then I have to meditate for an hour.
4 hours.
4 hours. Maybe we should just start sleeping like as a race. Maybe we could walk like 60 feet if we had like a little cat nap.
You can attempt to hide even when you are only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, and other natural phenomena. Yay. Okay, so what is your class? Barbarian, bard, cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard?
Okay, wow. I'm very confused because why is there a distinction between sorcerer, warlock, and wizard? Do they all do different things? I thought that was like
Sorcerer is someone who draws on inherent magic from a gift or bloodline. A
okay.
warlock is a wielder of magic that is derived from a bargain with an extraplanar entity.
Like I like made a deal with the devil to get
Yeah.
magic. Wow.
And then a wizard is a scholarly magic user capable of manipulating the structures of reality.
Okay.
So that's like Doctor Strange.
Okay. I want to be a sorcerer. I want the whole
Okay.
fam to be in I want it to be in the family, this gift.
You can choose your proficiency, your sorcerer skills. So you can be good at arcana, don't know what that is, deception, insight, intimidation, persuasion, or religion.
Religion?
Are you a nun?
Like I'm just really close with God. Or is it like I'm trying to get people? Like I'm really good at getting people to join my faith. Like
You're like a Jehovah's
like
Witness.
Mormons would love me. It would be like I knock on any fucking door, I'm leaving with a Mormon. I'm getting a convert. We're going out in the funny underwear and we're getting this shit done.
So you get to pick two.
Okay, well, I think I should have good persuasion. That's always
Okay.
helpful.
And
And deception. Yeah, I want to be able to persuade people and deceive them at the same time.
so you have arcane magic. I guess you're good at magic. And then you need a sorceress origin, which describes the source of your innate magical power. So it can be I guess
That's
there's
it.
one. You need a dragon ancestor.
Wait, I have like an actual dragon as wait, like was there bestiality?
Yeah, you can choose a color dragon.
Ooh, okay. Well, at least if I can choose who my great 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 grandfather fucked at some point.
So a black dragon has acid, a blue has lightning, brass has fire, bronze has lightning. Again, I guess it's also blue.
Oh, they repeat several.
Yeah, copper acid, gold is fire, green is poison, red is fire, silver and wood are both cold.
Okay, I think I want a green poison dragon.
Okay. That's mom.
That's grandmama.
Parts of your skin are covered by a thin sheen of dragon-like scales.
Okay, that's fine.
Try moisturizer.
Is that just eczema? Is that what they mean?
Okay, I'm gonna roll for you, and I don't know what it's gonna do, okay?
Okay.
Whoa. You got a 16. Where do you want it to be? In strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma?
Is a 16 a high roll?
I think it's out of 20, so yeah.
Oh, okay, charisma.
Yeah. Okay, now you're rolling again. 10. Which one do you want that to be?
What is constitution, you said?
It's you believe in the United States Constitution.
Can she recite the Constitution?
I have no idea.
Okay, we'll give it to Constitution then.
You can get through the preamble.
We the people of the United States in order to 10 again.
Another 10.
Okay, what are my options again?
Strength, dexterity, intelligence, or wisdom.
How about wisdom? I don't need to be that wise. I'm young. I got a lot of learning left to do.
9.
Just keep getting lower. Okay, 9 for dexterity.
Okay.
Please, I need to be smart. I can't be a dummy just walking around here.
10.
Okay, I guess I'm pretty middle of the road and then really charismatic. Let's do strength.
Okay, here's your last one. This has to be your intelligence. 12.
Okay, there we go.
What is your alignment? Are you chaotic evil, chaotic good, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, lawful good, lawful neutral, neutral evil, or neutral good?
What would you say like my personality is?
You're chaotic good.
Okay. Chaotic good.
Because sometimes you go out of your way to be too good. What is your faith?
Like agnostic.
What's your lifestyle? Are you wretched, squalid, poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, or aristocratic? I don't know what any of these mean.
I'll be comfortable.
Cool. Your physical characteristics. What's your hair?
Blonde.
Your skin?
What?
Eyes?
Green.
Height?
We went to do height and weight. We can skip though.
Age?
To what? 0? You typed in 0.
No, I just did it automatically.
Oh. Can I be like 114?
Sure. Gender?
Female.
Personal characteristics. What are your personality traits? Oh my God. I don't know.
Nice. There we go. Just leave it at that.
Okay, next. Your current inventory. You can choose an equipment or gold.
Equipment.
Okay, do you want a light crossbow and 20 bolts, any simple weapon, a component pouch, or an arcane focus, a Dungeoneer's pack, or an explorer pack? I think you get to pick off.
I want light crossbow.
Okay.
I don't know what either of those middle two are, so let's do an arcane focus.
Okay. Oh, you get an option: a crystal, orb, a rod, staff, wand, or arcane focus.
I want a wand. Yeah, elf with a
Cool.
wand.
And then, do you want a Dungeoneer's pack or an explorer's pack?
Explorer's pack.
Ah, okay, cool. You get a backpack, a bedroll, a mess kit, a tinderbox, 10 torches. Nick Cage would go through those so fast. 10 days of rations and a water skin.
Oh, see, this is actually something that I would love because I love first aid kits and like apocalyptic survival bags. Like I don't know what it is. There's just something about the little
Okay. There you go.
Here we go. Export to PDF. Okay, so we could actually play this online if we wanted to, couldn't we?
Yes, I just downloaded it. Okay, should I make mine?
Yeah.
I am going to be, because I want to be an elf, but I only want to be a half elf, but I'm going to be Elf Woods. I go to Harvard.
And I'm named after a piece of cheese.
I'm half elf because I'm already mixed race.
Okay.
My ability score, I can choose. My charisma score increases by 2, and 2 other ability scores of your choice increase by 1. I'm going to increase my intelligence because I'm worried about yours.
Thank you. No, I got a 12. I'm
Okay, then I'll put in wisdom because I don't think you were great on that.
No.
And dexterity, I don't think you were great at that either. I can gain proficiency in 2 skills of my choice. So oh shit, it's a lot. Acrobatics, what will that do?
Hell
I can
yeah.
go to the gym. I can go to the Olympics. Animal handling, Arcana, athletics, deception. We need to find out what the fuck Arcana is.
I'll Google
History, insight, intimidation, investigation, medicine, nature, perception, performance, persuasion, religion, sleight of hand, stealth, or survival. I'm gonna do sleight of hand because if things go awry, I can go to Vegas and be a street magician.
Your true childhood dream. Arcana, secrets or mysteries. Or it's either of the 2 groups of cards in a tarot pack.
Okay.
maybe it's like tarot card, like reading people's future.
I don't know. I'm gonna do perception. And then languages. I can speak and read and write Common, Elvish, and 1 extra language of my choice. I can, oh my God, there's so many.
Oh, here it says in D&D, Arcana is the skill used to recall lore or knowledge specifically about magic.
Actually, I'm gonna be a history nerd.
Hell yeah, that's true to form.
So whenever we walk into a dungeon, I'll be like, this is from The Revolutionary War. I'm trying to think of what language I want to speak. I don't know what deep speech is. I feel like that's when like you're a few drinks in and everything feels a little dark. So
It's like I try having a car. I'm like, hey Marriya, how are you? And you're like, actually, everything is horrible. And have you heard about climate change? We're all going to die.
I'm gonna do deep speech. Choose a class: barbarian, bard, cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, rogue, or sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. I'm gonna find out what a rogue is. Oh, I'm not a scoundrel. I'm nice. I think I want to be a bard because
Okay.
I think I like the idea that I do nothing, but I sing in the background.
I like maybe like do you think there are bards, but they like play some really inconvenient like instrument like a grand piano? And so they're on these adventures, but they're like, guys, I do have a portable keyboard, but it's just not as powerful. We have to head back to base camp where
Right?
my 600-pound piano is.
Okay, I'm gonna be a bard. So, oh my God, I get so many. So I get, I don't know what that means. Proficiencies. Oh, I get to choose my musical weapons.
Yeah,
Yes.
see, there we go.
Oh my God. I haven't even heard of half of these. Piano, where's piano? No.
But you don't want to be dragging it around.
That's true.
That's what we just talked about.
I'm gonna do a lute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a hand drum.
Okay.
And I'm going to do
Bagpipes.
bagpipes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so annoying. Okay, now I get to choose some skills. So I already had some because I was a half elf. So I think I'm gonna do intimidation. Like I play I play heavy metal.
you, you just scream music. You're just screaming in the background.
And I'm gonna do performance, so I'm good.
Okay.
And if I need to do the Vegas approach, it could help.
I like that you're just honestly building a life for yourself so that when everyone dies in the D&D world, you're gonna make it big on the Vegas Strip.
And I'm gonna do persuasion so that if I do have to do America's Got Talent, I could make it to the next level. I'm able to untangle and reshape the fabric of reality. Oh, how fun. And I can inspire others through stirring words or music. Good. Okay, now I get to do my score calculations. Let's see. Okay, rolling. 13.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna put it in my strength. He's like, ooh, 16.
Oh, damn it.
I'm gonna do it in my intelligence because I'm worried about us.
Thank you. A couple points higher.
12. Ooh.
These are good rolls.
I'm gonna do it in the Constitution because I don't need to know about America.
Okay.
12. I'm gonna do it in my wisdom because I already have intelligence and I don't know the difference. 13. I'm gonna do dexterity. Last one is going to be charisma. 16.
Hey, same points.
Okay, here we go. So now I get to choose a background. Oh my gosh.
You could
Okay.
be a criminal.
I could be a criminal spy, a folk hero, a haunted one, a noble sage soldier. I think haunted one is the most accurate.
Yep. Something dark is following her.
You are haunted by something so terrible that you dare not speak of it. Me to my therapist, they're
Oh my
like,
God.
you need to talk.
Do you think this is like the what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Yeah. You've tried to bury it and run away from it with no avail. Whatever this thing is that haunts you can't be slain with a sword or banished with a spell.
It's so therapy.
My own guilt, yeah. My skill proficiencies are in survival because I'm haunted and investigation because I don't feel comfortable with arcana yet. And then language, I get another language. I'm gonna speak orc because I don't know what that means. And I feel like it could be whale.
Based on my knowledge of Lord of the Rings, that's not what that is.
And I'm gonna speak celestial. I don't know what that means. Those who look into your eyes can see that you have faced unimaginable horror and that you are no stranger to darkness. So I'm super fun to be around.
You're kind of giving Sophina vibes, honestly. They look at her Hot Topic outfit and blended dark eyeshadow, and they know that you have faced true evil.
It gives me suggested characteristics, but I don't super care. My character details, what do you think my alignment is?
I think you are lawful good.
That's what I was thinking too. My faith,
Mormon.
yeah. My lifestyle,
Wretched.
I'm modest.
Okay.
It's hard living with this weight. I'm gonna have brown. Well, no, I'm Elle Woods. What am I doing? I'm blonde.
Elfwoods.
White. What color are her eyes? Like blue?
Blue, I think, yeah.
No, I'll say pink.
Okay. I like that.
Age. I just graduated from college. So I am
22.
like 22. Yeah.
Oh,
Ah.
nope, you're 10.
I'm female. Personality traits. Girl boss.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Girl boss and nice.
Okay, here we go. Now I'm gonna choose equipment. I get to choose a rapier, a long sword, or any simple weapon.
What's a rapier?
I don't know. It's what Tybalt has in Shakespeare in Romeo and Juliet. So I'm gonna choose that.
Okay.
A diplomat's pack or an entertainer's pack. Well, if I'm gonna make it in Vegas,
all the way.
a lute or any other musical instrument. I already have a lute, so I'm gonna choose another musical instrument. Or does that mean that they took away my lute?
Maybe you can play the lute and you can play those other ones, but you may not have one.
Oh, well, I'm gonna do a pan flute anyway.
Okay.
Because that feels special. I got a monster hunter's pack, which includes a chest, a crowbar, a hammer, 3 wooden stakes, a holy symbol, a flask of
You
holy
are haunted
water.
by something horrible.
Oh no. And I get a 1 trinket of special significance. It's going to be my sorority sister pin. And I get a set of common clothes. Elwoods would never be seen in that.
Mm-hmm.
And a silver coin. Okay. That's me. Elfwoods. Okay, are we ready to play or
We're
do
ready.
something? So basically, going on to our remakes, I have a D20 die here. And die?
Singular?
Singular? Dice? Die? Dyson?
Dyson. Dyson chicken wrap?
Yeah. And then I have 20 options of like things that we could change about the movie.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll for you, Brooke.
Okay.
I'm
sorry. What is my character name?
Shit. Basio or something. I start with a B, I think.
Brianna? Or what is it?
You don't even know. Don't give me shit.
Briora?
You definitely choose. Yeah, Brienoa.
Brienoa. There it is.
You don't know what's up either. Okay, Brienoa.
Listen, that's my nickname for myself is Brianna.
Okay. I rolled a 3. So how would you change the cast?
Brienoa. Well, Brienoa has spoken about this briefly before in the pod, but if I were to change anything, I am getting rid of Hugh Grant and I am getting rid of what is his name? Rene Jean?
Reggie.
Reggie Jean or Reggie Page. I'm getting rid of those two. I just feel like they were a bit of misses for me. And so I am removing them. I'm replacing Hugh Grant with, let me think, Ed Helms.
Okay. That would make sense. sense, actually.
Yeah. And he worked with John Francis Daly worked with Ed Helms in the Vacation one too, I think. So I'm replacing Hugh Grant with Ed Helms. I think he plays charismatic evil better. And then I would replace Jean
Reggie.
Reggie Jean Page. I would replace him with Timothée Chalamet. Yeah, I just want like a strange little man.
And he's so old, but he's so small.
That Timothy is bringing. And then, he's small enough that Holga might have her eye on him. There could be a potential love interest just waiting to spark.
He's also playing Wonka in this.
So it's just him with like the little bob?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Willy Wonka also has like mystical powers that cannot be discerned by the human eye. So I think that would work. He just like keeps the makeup on from Wonka, walks on over the Warner Brothers studio lot and goes over. But
hopefully he doesn't get hit by a car like the guy in Bones.
like they did for Sweet's character, where they said, "Hey, you are a psychologist at the Smithsonian." They don't say Smithsonian; it's like the Jeffersonian is what they call it, but it's supposed to be the Smithsonian in DC.
It's awful.
Like, you're a psychologist, but you are going to just take a hard turn into filmmaking. All right, that's what Brienoa says for that role. Your turn, Elfwoods.
See, mine is memorable.
Hey, Brienoa is a singular name, like Adele or Beyonce. Okay,
so I'm supposed to put Brienoa into this film.
Okay.
And what I have to go off of is that your name is Brienoa and you're nice.
I'm nice. Charismatic,
not super bright.
Oh, why do you keep saying that? It was a 12, Marriya. You're a 16, Elfwoods. I would be taking the SATs and getting into law school just like you would. I would just get in like after they had done their first round of decision making.
So if I were to put you in Brienoa's gonna end up with Holga.
Oh, I like
it. Because we didn't set your height. Maybe
so
you're small.
I'm tiny.
Holga's been, she's struggled because she's doing the same type over and over again. So maybe she needs a little bit of brie cheese, and then together you can make a baked potato.
That would work perfectly. Who doesn't like cheesy potatoes? Aw. I will say it is like honestly shocking that Holga is straight. Like I feel like she's at minimum bisexual. She's giving like masculine bi energy. So that works. Me and Holga will live happily ever after in our cheesy potato land. All right. Brienoa is ready.
Oh, you got a 3 again. I'm going to change it. Okay. 16, which is we tend to do in our remakes that people get therapy. So who would you give therapy to in this movie, and how would it change the course of the film?
Okay, well, I feel like Hugh Grant character Forge, that's like an immediate obvious contender. We already touched on like he's lived this torturous life on the run, was a con man. And it all stems back to this relationship with his mother, which once he finally gets in prison, he has this moment of introspection. He's able to kind of realize like that's where everything went wrong in his life. And, not that we can just all blame the mother, but he has some trauma there that has led to his bad decision making. So I feel like that's an easy one right off the bat. Like we just get him into counseling like right at the ripe age of 18, like he finally leaves like his peasant house and he's off to like, I don't know, die of dysentery. And then it's like, what if we just let him you know, he's at the local community college and there's a counselor there, and we let him have like just, I think like 4 sessions would be enough
with a grad student.
with a grad student to at least give him like the coping mechanisms that he needs to realize that he needs to stop hating himself because his mother hated him. He needs to realize that he's actually a good person deep down. And so I think we
And what gets him is when they say, it's time for you to forge your own path. Separate from your parents.
Rise, he's sobbing. He like a little tissue is handed over. He's there on the couch. So I think that's an obvious contender. And then, you know, if that were to happen, say he still chooses a life of crime because, you know, 4 sessions with a grad student may not be enough. But I think if he is still a part of the team and he is still a con man, he's a con man with a conscience, and that's his slogan.
I put the con in conscience.
I put the con in conscience, and he, you know, like a steal from the rich, give to the poor kind of situation. And so he just makes all the other characters around him better. And then let's say he does have to become Kira's father. Like, let's say that he is still in that situation. He becomes just like a genuinely kind second father figure for her. And then immediately upon the return of his dad, he steps into the background and he lets them rekindle their relationship, and then they just have a beautiful life with their chosen family. So boom, there we go. Fucking problem solved here. The grad student that sees him in community college is putting in the work for the rest of his life. He has like one of those worksheets that you do too. And he hands in his homework, and he's a changed man.
All right.
Roll Elf Woods.
12. Okay, I have to change the setting. There's like a lot of settings.
I think moving it to Vegas is an obvious.
Yeah, I would put it in Vegas. Simon is headlining. They call him Simon Fresh Cut Grass, whatever his last name is. That's what's on the marquee. And yeah, so they have to go through Vegas. They actually decide to take they don't stop with Jarnathan or whatever. They grab him all the way to Vegas. They're like, it's not just like escaping prison. They're like, you're also our Uber.
Yeah.
And so they take him all the way to Vegas. And they have to get Simon out of there.
Maybe it's that Forge has his kingdom is Caesar's palace.
There we go. Yeah.
And that's how they have to infiltrate the palace, but it's Caesar's palace.
Perfect. Yeah. And then it's all about the nightlife.
It's all about the nightlife. And they try every they try every famous chef's restaurant. And then they just rate it.
Gordon Ramsay is the final boss in this one.
Gordon Ramsay, our buddy from Cake Boss, is the final boss.
Well, Gordon Ramsay, I mean, the guy's obsessed with hell. So
yeah, Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
I like that. Hell's Kitchen is where the dragon is, and they go into the back, and it's actually a dragon just like sitting there making minimum wage, like fueling all like the fires for the cooking.
Perfect.
And they're like, this is actually a health code violation. Then we get the government involved. That's where our constitution really takes its form.
Yeah.
Like, we know our rights, bitch.
We rolled a 10. Do you want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more each.
Okay.
This is fun. We should just do this for every episode.
Right? Okay. Change the genre.
Okay, would we say the genre now is like action adventure? Okay. I think we change it to film noir. I think everyone's in some like spiffy little suits. They break them out of prison, but it's a traditional, you know, they're behind bars, physically behind bars kind of a thing. Jarnathan is like, everyone has a transatlantic accent, and they're like, we can't move on with the with the committee without waiting for Jonathan. And then they're like, Jonathan's in a storm, he's not coming. He's like, we have to rely on Jonathan, he's our ticket out of here. And then yeah, I think we change it to film noir. Chris Pine could play the shit out of this as a film noir.
That's true. And I think like Safina, she is like so covered up, and she's like in this little like baggy thing and a hood that's kind of like, I don't even know what it is. It's kind of giving like pet cone a little bit.
Okay.
And I think like it would be a total reimagine if she's the femme fatale and she just like
I love
gets
that.
to live her life, you know, make the eyes like dial down the smoky just a little bit.
Yeah, we would actually have to like up her sex appeal. So she has like on like a tight fitting dress, but then with like a cone head hairstyle. And then yeah, it's like, it wasn't about you. It was I don't know what else. But yeah, I think film noir is the way to go.
Nice. Okay, last one. The prequel. What would the prequel be?
Dungeons and Dragons.
That's good. It's called Dungeons. It's a good start. Dungeon.
Putting it out there. We can work off. We can work off of that. This is, we have Dungeons and Dragons. Well, actually, go back a couple of steps. First, we started off with Dungeons.
Yeah.
And the next movie, Dungeons and Dragons.
That's true. That's a good idea.
This is actually the third movie. It's a trilogy.
That's true. Yeah. So the first one's just Dungeons.
Yeah.
Very
broad.
And it is Shawshank Redemption.
It's dungeons, it's prison break stories. But I think more importantly, it's like a real estate HGTV kind of vibe, looking at basements and whether or not they are finished basements.
It's actually a sex dungeon show.
It's 50 Shades of Grey. They're like, sorry, but does this dungeon have like a sex swing? Because if not, we're not buying.
There you go.
But then the second one, Dungeons and Dragons.
And that's what you call the penis.
Yeah. that one's just pornography. That one's just explicit, ramming it in. And then we get to this film.
And everyone's really confused.
And everyone's like, these are not the same characters. I did not love it as much as I love Dungeons.
Yay.
Did you have anything else that we kind of got off on a tangent?
I don't know. I think the prequel could be like, yeah, I like the idea of it just exploring dungeons. I was also thinking like Dungeons and Dragons honor amongst thieves. It's just like a little bit of a change, and it's just like it's talking about, I guess, being a harper and being in love.
Yeah. You know whose backstory I want? I want Jonathan.
That's true. That could be a good one.
My man Jonathan, he needs his own. In fact, frankly, I hope that if they do a sequel, it's just Jonathan.
Because I think the Jonathan story is actually very familiar, kind of resembles a little bit of Elf Woods, actually, because Jonathan has done all this work to become a judge or whatever the hell he is. And then people only use him for his wings. The same way that Elf Woods is used for her sexuality.
Yeah.
And
he's like,
Jonathan,
he's like, stop using me for my body. Like, yeah. I am not just an object for you to use.
Like, I did the LSAT. Like, I did the work and didn't work out with my ex-boyfriend, but that's a whole other story. I spread my own wings and I flied. And so it's actually an empowering story of how Jonathan came to the legal system.
Yeah.
And then
at first as a lawyer.
yeah, and then why he was delayed for personal reasons
in
to this trial.
I love it. And then like the end, first of all, he's wearing all pink, of course. But then it's Kelly Clarkson's like breakaway. And it's like, fly away, break away. I spread my wings and I learned how to fly.
Yeah.
And he's
perfect.
soaring off. Oh, I love it. We are so smart. All right. Well, any final thoughts before you give us the who's your daddy stats?
No other thoughts.
Okay. Who's your daddy?
Well,
Greg?
biologically. Yeah. We've only ever we've talked about Chris Pine already, so there's not really anything to talk about. Is that he's a Nepo on both sides, multiple generations. So, but he does it well, I guess.
He does it well. He's so hot. I love him.
At least they comment on the fact that he's graying, because no one used to listen to me on the fact that he's graying.
Really?
He's been graying for a while.
Yeah. He's like almost full salt and pepper.
Yeah. Good for him.
We love a natural man.
So Brooke, what have you been watching lately?
What have I been watching? I never finished Narnia from last week. I watched half of Pink Panther 2 last night and then stopped because I was too tired and I was about to fall asleep. I don't think I've watched anything. I don't think I've literally watched a single movie or video because we're doubling up here. So it's only been a week. And I have not consumed any content other than TikTok and YouTube videos. I think I have nothing. What have you been watching, Marriya?
I've only been watching Only Murders in the Building.
Okay.
Just that one new episode from last week. So, and it's fine. Like, they're kind of using the same exact tactics that they've used for the past 2 seasons, so it's kind of getting a little bit tiring, but I don't mind it. I'm not anywhere closer to figuring out a murder, but that's okay.
All right. Well, where can they find the pod and you, Elfwoods?
They can find the pod at Remake Hot Take on all social media, and they can find Elfwoods at Elfwoods at Marriya Schwarz on all social media. And where can they find you? Shoot, Brienoa?
Yeah, learn my name. They can find Brienoa looking hot and dumb
and nice.
They can find me hot, dumb, nice, and charismatic in a field somewhere.
No, in a wood. You're a wood elf.
In a wooden. That's the 12-point intelligence speaking. In the woods somewhere, just flitting around, doing my business. Doing my elf business. Excuse me.
Didn't sound better.
No, I'm like a business
meditating for 4 hours.
I think you'll find me walking 35 steps. And then once those 35 steps are complete, I'm basically just gone for another 4 hours. I do have the ability to fly, so maybe it's like flying, is my main form of transportation, I would hope. Otherwise, I'm going pretty slow in life. Things have to be calculated very precisely. Like, if it's truly 35 steps done, like, I hope that I live in a walkable community. Let me tell you that. I hope the elf infrastructure has taken this into account. I hope the grocery store is like a 5 minutes, not a 5 minute, I'm sorry, a 5-step walk from my apartment. I hope like entertainment is another 2 steps. Things got to be in a pretty tight circle there. So yeah, you'll find me walking my 35 steps. Do you think they have specific like Fitbits or Apple Watches where it's like 35 instead of like the 10,000? It's like you did it, you reached your 35 steps, and then
We
like the
definitely
little
are not
nudge.
understanding this one.
We're not. Everyone that watches D&D is gonna be like, you fucking fool. But that's okay. We're going based off what the internet said, and we're taking them at their word. So don't
The
blame
vague,
us.
the internet, and then we're not doing any additional research
No.
based on the titles of things.
Because I think it's kind of iconic for me to take 35 steps and then be done. I think that's honestly pretty true to my personality. It's like those days where you have your Apple Watch on and it's like you've done 74 steps and they were from your bed to the fridge. Like that's the kind of vibes that Brienoa has.
And the entire way you're going your 35 steps, you're like, we the people, in order to form a more
My
perfect
constitution is strong. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. What are the next steps? I don't know. Brienoa knows.
establish justice and true to domestic tranquility,
and provide for the common defense, promote
promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity do ordain, and establish this constitution for the United States of America.
Did you learn
song?
a song? We did not learn a song.
It's the Schoolhouse Rock.
We didn't get that one. I think the Schoolhouse Rock, is there one about being a bill? That's the one that we got.
I'm just a
bill. Yeah, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting
on Capitol.
Yeah, that's the only one that we were shown. We just had to memorize the Constitution, pure strength to try to do that. But yeah, they can find Brooke at B_ReeseCup on Instagram.
Let us know if you want to play Dungeons and Dragons with us. We're really good.
We're really good. And if you can do it online, can they do it online?
I don't know.
Well, we like made our things online. If you can do it online, hit me up. If I have to go into someone's basement and you're like 18 years old.
I think we can make campaigns, but I don't know if we can like connect with people.
Oh. Okay. Well, if you want to play Dungeons and Dragons with us, we are willing and able, and we have characters.
Who are nice.
Who are nice and dumb.
And girl boss.
Some of us are girl boss. Some of us are just in the woods. Trying our best, one step at a time. Up to 35. All right. That does it.
Thank you, everyone.
Have good campaigns.
Bye.